finally, we'll see what will be the future. We can conclude how English has its whole, okay, it spread its own region all over the world. Okay, so it's very obvious. It has its growth in education as well as the professional thing, because without knowing English language, we are very difficult to survive in the professional and educational field. So it's first major point. And the globalization and technology will definitely have the medium of English only. So we connect people from the other country and everything. Okay, world has become small with the technology as well as English language. Urban rural divide. Okay, the main division happens from English proficiency from urban as well as rural division. Then you have cultural and linguistic integration. Even though English is a separate language, we are familiar to include each English vocabulary very commonly into our language, linguistic language. We are not using any Perundu Nilayam or what Kadavachitam and what Payanachit and all. We just used to say ticket, bus stand, and everything. Even from the rural people are not. What they say is ticket, bus and everything. So it has been entered into our regional language very easily, so easily. So it has its whole anyway. So it has its great future in India. So this is we are concluding our second topic. So the possible areas, as I told you before, important events, dates you can memorize, commission, and what the features they are focusing, text and authors, as I given you. So these things you can find it in the story of English in India, and you can also, okay, even some areas is lacking in this book means you just go and type out in some website or something, just giving the important events and all in a PDF form. Lot of materials are available for this portion, so you can read it and handle it in this way. Then shall we move into the culture studies? Anyone having any doubt in English in India?
Continue.
It is, as we all know, it is an umbrella term. Okay, it covers everything. It is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. Okay, so much research fields, so much research theories are booming nowadays. Yeah, so it is basically developed in Britain from the discussion by who has written the very famous work, Matthew Arnold, in Culture and Anarchy, and F.R. Lewis, Great Tradition, 1948. Okay, so theorists are saying the ideology of the culture studies itself came from the writings and discussions of Matthew Arnold and F.R. Lewis. Okay, as a result of this discussion and all on these writers, what has been established? The Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies, CCCS, was established by Richard Hogarth in 1964. In which place? Anyone? In which place CCCS has been established? It is in Birmingham. Okay. So what is low culture and high culture? Before getting into the works, you should have the depth of understanding something about low culture or high culture, so you can connect it in the future time. What we mean low culture is what we are listening to. Okay, the musicals, the TV show, the television shows. Okay, the raps, the songs. Okay, the concerts, everything, magazines, literature is not actually a elite culture. It is a low culture. Okay, what in my elite culture is you will have the set of restricted or certain, only certain, you can't be change anything there. Okay, thus that kind of art, that kind of music, that kind of dance and everything, okay, there they can be called as high culture. So only high society or elite society people will be attending those kind of culture. So you can be easily understanding these things. The same music can be produced, but here you have restrictions. Here you have brought out curriculum or brought out syllabus or something. But in low culture and all, we are easy to do anything free. It is only known as free art, freestyle. So who are the founding fathers in CCCS, or the founding fathers of culture studies? Is Richard Hogarth, E.P. Thompson, Raymond Williams, Stuart Hall. Okay, the first one is Richard Hogarth, the down one is E.P. Thompson, third one in the picture is Stuart Hall, and the last one is Raymond Williams. Okay, Richard Hogarth. Richard Hogarth, he's the one who has founded the CCCS in, as I told you, University of Birmingham in 1964. He used the term first for the first time. Okay, culture studies. Then he discussed the changes that happened to. His main focus was working class culture. Okay, after the advent of capitalism. Okay, his only famous work is Uses of Literacy. Definitely, you should read the publication date. Then comes E.P. Thompson. He's a British historian. He's a New Left scholar. It's very important. He has written The Poverty of Theory, okay, which is basically against Louis Althusser structuralist Marxism. Louis Althusser's famous term is, anyone? Louis Althusser from Marxist criticism. What apparatus? No one is familiar with Althusser? ISA, RSA, ideological state apparatus, okay, and the making of the English working class. It is a very famous work by E.P. Thompson. Raymond Williams. Raymond Williams is, even though Richard Hogarth is the prominent one who started the culture studies, but Raymond Williams is the very famous proponent of these studies. Actually, okay, so he's a Marxist and culture theorist. He has written a number of works. You should be familiar with the chronology as well as Culture and Society, 1958. Okay, in that work, he has claimed a famous quotation called "Culture is a whole way of life." Okay, and then Long Revolution, 1961, Dominant Culture, Residual Culture. In that Long Revolution, he has given three types of culture. Okay, dominant culture, residual, emergent, and you have country and the city, and then you have keywords. In keywords, it is like a dictionary. Okay, related to the terms related to the culture studies. He has given a number of terms. Then Marxism and literature. In this work only, he has coined cultural materialism. And then finally, you have Stuart Hall. He has written a famous work called Model of Communication. He laid the foundation of culture understanding of communication. In this work, the model of communication, he has given 4 stages. Okay, it is also very important MCQ related to our net examination, because you just have to remember the circulation of the 4 stages: production, circulation, usage, as well as reproduction. Think it of in terms of fairness cream ad or something, any ad you think. Okay, where there is a production of the message. Okay, the production, the need of the message to be spread. Then you have the message. Okay, the medium, what circulation they are using, visual or in a written form, newspaper or something. Okay, and then use the consumer culture. Okay, we use it. Okay, we use it as a message, as a meaningful thing. Then the reproduction. Okay, we deliver something. Okay, we spread our feedbacks or something as a consumer. The effect of the message leading to an action. So these are all the 4 stages of Stuart Hall thing. Then you have 3 schools: Frankfurt School, Birmingham School, Toronto School. Okay, very important one. Frankfurt School is who are the main proponents in here is Kemmer and Adorno and Horkheimer. Then Herbert Marcuse, Walter Benjamin. Okay, then you have Birmingham from UK. They are Richard Hogarth, Raymond Williams, Stuart Hall, E.P. Thompson. The extra one is Angela McRobbie. And you have Toronto School from Canada. Okay, here you have Marshall McLuhan, Northrop Frye. Then you have different approaches. These are all the main writers. Definitely you should read the works of them. Other than that, there are n number of, as I told you before, it's an umbrella term, culture studies. N number of researcher or fields will be emerging. Okay, you just definitely need to know what are the types they are, the culture studies have, and what are the major writers, proponents, or works is emerging in this field. Gender, in gender category, you have feminism. Post-feminism is nothing but, in feminism, people are or women are talking about the freedom, okay, the equality and everything. Post-feminism is nothing like. Post-feminism is we are embracing our femininity. We are in our 30s. We are empowering women. We are working women and all. So, like post-feminism, you have easygoing or the psychology. The only it depends only on the psychology of the women itself. Okay, there you should not have. We will not be listening to men's oppression or ideology or anything. So this is the difference between feminism as well as post feminism. Cyber feminism, you will be included with technology, robotics, okay, everything, science missions. Then queer studies, as we are know that queer LGBTQ thing. So then transgender studies, their ideology, their things. You can include queer and transgender studies, like oranges are not only the fruit, okay, that work can be included in this field. Then body studies. Body studies will explore the limitations as well as the aesthetic. You will have separate category called body aesthetics. In IIT and NIT and all, you will have like research area itself. They have given as body aesthetics. Okay, recent writers are writing on body aesthetics, body freedom and everything. So trauma studies is from a bad incident or something. The mind is got traumatized or something. So the pain, the memory, everything involved in trauma studies. Major proponent in trauma studies, Kathy Karuth. You can go and search for her name, Kathy Karuth. Okay. Then comes disability studies. You will have like works like Tara by Mahesh Satani, and more disability characters and all will be involving in novels, works and all. Then comes men studies. Men are like exhausted, I think. So much of listen, so much for the past years we have been listening to female voices, female empowerment and everything. So after that they have come up with their own theory called men studies. Yeah. Then media will have television studies, film studies, then media studies, visual culture studies, museum studies. Museum studies will have Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett is the major proponent. And also television studies, film studies, you will have John Fisk. Okay, John Fisk. Then cybernetics. Then cybernetics is a term coined by Wiener. And post-humanism, you will definitely have the cyborg manifesto, okay, by Donna Haraway. So all the science and robotics elements. Then the third category is youth culture. Youth culture, popular culture, subculture, counterculture, race studies, ethnicity, food studies, art studies. Okay, in people youth culture, it is like Buildings Roman or coming of age novel, or popular culture. You will have a series, magazines. Yeah, you will have what not. You will have a number of popular culture fictions. Okay. Then subculture. Subculture is a term by Dick Hebditch. Subculture is nothing but new or recent culture which is evolved with their own subcategory. They form their own community. They have their unique kind of dressings, unique kind of likings to music, dance, arts, everything. So it is called a subculture. Then counterculture. Counterculture is actually racing against such culture, racing against such so-called tradition or something. So like have you been familiar with hippies? Okay, they'll be like gypsies, hippies and all, Hare Rama Hare Krishna movement and all. So these movements are called as counterculture. Okay, they'll be like having their own music, jazz, everything. So race studies it depends on the country, people, ethnicity, everything. Then food studies, you will have definitely separate topic called food pornography and all, how food is described in works, how food is shown, how food is interspersed in our life, everything. So you have art studies, and then art studies will have the paintings, the works, how it reflects the artist and the psychology or something like that. Then space studies, city studies, urban studies. These will be included by the geographical element. You have Henry Leverbrae. He is a famous proponent in space studies, city studies. Okay. Then comes globalization studies. Arjun Appadurai will be a proponent or a key figure in this studies. Then development studies, subaltern studies. You know, subaltern study is a very famous field. We should be we should be get thorough with this subaltern studies arena. And then empire studies. The last is ecological studies. Then final part is terms. Okay. In culture studies, definitely we will be expecting questions in NTA from terms. Object is a term by Julia Kristeva. It is neither subject nor object. Anchorage. Anchorage is a word term coined by Roland Barthes. Okay, in his work, Image, Music, Text. Anchorage is nothing means when you see some image, you will definitely given some meaning with it. Okay, we are trained in that way to connect the image as well as the meaning. Okay, when you see the signal from what when you see the signal light colors, you will definitely know how to go in that way or not. So these meanings has attributed to images. Anchorage. And humanism is by Louis Althusser. Aporia is by Derrida. Aporia is nothing but in postmodern literature, so post-structuralism, which has some lack of clarity. There is a lag, there is a space where we have to, as a reader, we have to fill our understanding. Okay, give meaning to that work. That is called as aporia. And archi-writing. Archi-writing by Derrida is a kind of writing before speech and writing was invented. It is archi-writing. Aura. Aura is a unique thing. We all know how Mona Lisa in that picture looks like. Okay, but we didn't went into the museum and saw with in close to that picture. But why? Because we are familiar with that technology and we are familiar with that picture. Okay, so that what he says is, Walter Benjamin says, aura is a thing which is unique to that element. Okay, yeah. Then Black Atlantic is by Paul Gilroy. Bricolage is by Levi Strauss. Chronotype is by Bakhtin. Commodity Fetishism by Karl Marx. And Compulsory Heterosexuality is by Adrian Rich. Culture Materialism by Raymond Williams. Cultural Industry. You should not be confusing with this thing because often these two will be asked in the question. Adorno and Horkheimer. And Adorno and Horkheimer from which group? As I told you. Reference is a term coined by Derrida. Écriture féminine is by Helen Sixers. Écriture féminine is nothing but the only writing which is written by feminist. Encoding and Decoding is by Stuart Hall. Habitus is by Pierre Bourdieu. Hegemony is by Antonio Gramsci. Heteroglossia is by Bakhtin. Heteroglossia will have like the sentence or a word which have multiple voices in it, multiple meanings. Okay, heterotopia is similar to that, multiple meanings in a context. Okay, by Foucault. Then power and knowledge. This two category or division was given by Michael Foucault, and public sphere was done by Habermas. Rhizome. Okay, rhizome will spread in a horizontal way, not in a vertical position. So this is the concept by Deleuze and Guattari. Simulacrum. Okay, it is between the reality or the fiction hyper reality. Okay, so this is the term called simulacrum by Lyotard. And Structures of Feelings by Raymond Williams. Imagine Communities by Benedict Anderson. It is also an important term. Imagine communities is nothing but we form WhatsApp groups and all. Okay, there is also we feel the community belonging or the same ideology or something will be shared. This is called through technology or through the development of global thing. We are forming our communities, okay, in our imagination like that. So it is imagined communities. Interpellation, Louis Althusser. Interpretive communities. Imaginative and interpretive will be confused often. So you should be clear with Benedict as well as Stanley Fish. And then the final part is journals in CS, culture studies. Okay, Ankaleki, Ariel, Boundary to Continuum, culture studies, difference. These are all the major journals will be culture studies. Okay, for culture studies, the books to refer is Introduction to Culture Studies, the Adhan Sardar, Culture Studies, a Critical Leader, Simon Rowing, and also I told you about EPG Pathshala. EPG Pathshala will have every material in the 10 units. So we come to the end of the day. Okay, so we can call it a day. The thing is, it will be like tiring or like this can be exhaustive. Okay, I can definitely feel it. But what is the thing is, day by day, the burden will decrease. Okay, day by day, the burden will decrease because the consistency will pay you off. So clearing net is not about spending hours and hours of thing. It has to be depend on the strategy, little bit of luck. Okay, because some part, like, as we expected, it will become in the examination. So even if it is not in that time, we can definitely catch in the next time. So hard work is the main thing. So consistency is the key. So keep learning, and happy learning. Thank you.